Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. You know, when we go and say that we represent digital media, we get mixed reactions. Some people say, digital media, you are independent thinker. You are the true media. You speak the truth. Some people say, digital media, oh, you are leftist. You are a sold out media. You are a Congress media. Or you are anti-national. Or at times even anti-Hindu. These are the kind of comments we get. Completely mixed reaction. What exactly is digital media? Is digital media actually anti-national? Okay, let's discuss this. That's the question I wanted to ask tonight. And to answer these questions, I have two very eminent journalists with me today. And these two journalists are also representing office bearers of one of India's largest digital association, and that is DigiPub News India Foundation. They represent bulk of digital channels in this country. And let's ask them, are digital channel anti-nationals? Let's get right into the show. Dhanya, Abhinandan, thank you so much for joining me on this show. Why does digital media need DigiPub?
So, in the last 5 to 7 years, we have seen an explosion of digital media websites in India. We have so many news outlets across the country. There are English, there are Hindi ones, they're there in regional languages. And many of these are small-time operations, of course, most run by journalists who work with mainstream organizations. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen that the Indian government is apprehensive, is scared of digital media, and has time and again said that we want to bring in rules, we want to make sure digital media, there are laws governing digital media. So when they say digital media and they want to bring laws to govern digital media platforms, we felt that there is no association or body which represents the interest of smaller digital media portals. Now, there is an association formed by the digital portals of mainstream media organizations, but they do not represent the interests of smaller media organizations. So tomorrow, if the government does want to bring in regulation of any kind, whether that's on investment, whether it's on content or on distribution, there should be a voice of an association, of a foundation, which speaks up for the smaller news organizations, for the independent news organizations, which is the primary purpose of DigiPub, I feel. But it's not just that. It's not about just talking to the government. It's about having an internal discipline. We have been having discussions on a code of conduct for digital sites, whether we should charter one. So there are many things which an association or foundation can do to help digital media platforms in India.
Abhinandan, tell me, you guys are office bearers of one of India's largest association, digital association. I think you guys are the largest because you guys represent what? 25 million subscribers put together, 25, 30 million subscribers put together?
Yeah, I guess now we have about, I think, 30 members of DigiPub. So that would be collectively, they would probably have a viewership chunk that might rival broadcast.
Correct. So I guess you are therefore the largest association as far as digital platforms, digital news platforms are concerned. Now, that being said, there are a lot of myths about digital media. People say digital media is left-leaning. What is your opinion?
Why are we left-leaning? We are simply journalists who do our job of saying truth to the power. That's about it. I don't think there is anything left or right. In fact, some of the journalists who are running these organizations were ones who did the best and the most remembered investigative stories even when the UPA was in power.
Correct.
Were these people bracketed as left or right at that time? So why should they be? Why should they be put in a box today when they question the government? That's their basic job. So I don't think all these journalists are simply doing their job. And DigiPub, like I said, has no character of left or right. We do have certain criteria that the people who join our association have to be digital only, which means they cannot have a TV channel or a print platform. The second is they cannot be fake news vehicles. They cannot be party propaganda vehicles. These are certain things that we demand from our members, and and only if they cater to all these things that we want them to, then we'll allow them as members. That's about it. Other than that, I mean, there are so many people who are part of DigiPub. Like there are Malayalam websites, Tamil websites. We are not following each of their news stories to understand which government are they supporting, or which side of the debate are they on. That's really not our mandate at all.
Great, cool. Now the next myth that is spoken about is about the fact that we are hugely funded. A lot of us are funded by, I'm talking about individual, I'm not talking about DigiPub here, but a lot of us are funded, Dhanya is already smiling, a lot of us are funded by various political parties, or some foreign hand funds us, and so on and so forth. What is the actual reality?
Now, see, there is something. Now the thing is, Sujit, because the digital space is like broadcast, cluttered with a lot of commentary that has no foundation, no understanding, no desire to really look at things for what they are. You see a lot of this in television studios by anchors themselves, who have no desire or understanding to see things as they are. But there is a Ministry of Commerce, there is a website which has everybody's directors, ownership pattern, cap table there. So you cannot, kind of convince Twitter mobs or social media mobs कि भाई हम ऐसे नहीं है कि हम वैसे हैं. आप कुछ भी पेल दो, लोग बिलीव करना चाहते हैं तो कर लेंगे. But those who want to see, it is all transparent in our country. You cannot have a registered company. You have to upload your returns. You have to upload your directorship, and it is all there. I think the MOS की वो site में, what I think you have to give 149 rupees to get each company's
the registrar of companies website.
Registrar of companies, you have to get. It's all there. So all these myths that people just pay low, they go with. What can you say? Everybody has different funding patterns. Some of them are funded by individuals. Some of them are funded by many individuals. Some of them are funded by huge industrialists. Some of them are funded by, I have FDI. There are some others who have FDI. Now with the FDI rule, of course, many people are saying, अब हम news करें कि ना करें, FDI करें कि ना करें. Of course, there's a lot of confusion with that. Broadcast is funded primarily by a few industrialists. Does anyone ask? But yeah, as long as it's legal, you can keep complaining that they may not be fair, they may not be accurate, but you cannot say it's illegal to do what they're doing.
Correct. Abhinandan,
in fact, I would like to use this opportunity to tell people to fund digital media, put more funds in digital media. They're more honest, they're more independent. Give me a lot of funds, I will start the News Minute in 4 different languages.
Because I think most of the digital channels today are, if I may say, hand to mouth, literally. Because I don't think anybody is splurging money, or anybody has the money to splurge. Isn't that a fact? Read the real story.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Correct.
And in today's day and age, in the digital age, Sujit, news is a very high risk and low returns business. People should understand that. It's not like mining or gas or petroleum, where your returns are supernormal.
Correct.
And your risk is depending on how you can negotiate policy and how you can negotiate a government. I got my first notice from the ministry on the UPA time.
Mm-hmm.
So let nobody be under any illusion that any government will want digital to prosper. Like Mr. Modi says, he wants India should have a media company that is world standard. But world can raise funds from everywhere, Indian companies can't, because it's so stringent. So the thing is, no government, the political culture in our country does not understand or does not want to value the importance of the 4th pillar of democracy, that is news. कहने के वास्ते it's the 4th pillar. If they've had their way, they would demolish it in a heartbeat.
Correct. Dhanya, you just said we write what we think is the truth. That's what we do. We don't bother whether it is left or whether it is right. Dhanya, then why are we called anti-nationals? Why are most of us called anti-nationals?
Why were we called anti-nationals a few years ago? I have been a reporter since 2000, 2003 actually. I had reported on the Tatra scam, on the 2G scam, so many things during the UPA time. Why was I not called anti-national at that time? Didn't I report against the government? Didn't I report against political parties then? That's because lately, at least after 2014 and the BJP came to power, this whole notion that the government is the country. If you speak against the government, you are speaking against the nation. That belief, that notion has become so widespread that even common people believe it. The moment you question the Prime Minister or his cabinet, his policies, his government, anything, you are against the country. No, I'm sorry. I am questioning the government. I am not questioning the country. I wish to ask the same people who call me anti-national today, why did you not call me anti-national when I stood outside Karunanidhi's or Kanimozhi's residence every single day and reported about the 2G scam? The court now says there is no scam, but at that time we did report it, right? Why did you not call me an anti-national? So it's you who has changed your perspective. It's not me. I continue to do my job.
Abhinandan, what about you? You have some 200 crores odd defamation case on you. Why do you defame people like this?
See, the thing is that something very unique has happened in the last, 6 years. See, this government rhetoric, if you remember Kapil Sibal and Manmohan Singh also, full disclosure, I was a part of the Jan Lokpal movement. I had set up an NGO in 2006 along with Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia, and we used to work in the RTI space. I have done many dharnas at that time. 2006 was one of our biggest dharnas when the RTI amendments were being planned. I have gheraud Manmohan Singh's house. I have spent the night at the Tughlaq Road police station. So I have done all that, and that time also it was that they are anti-national, they are foreign funding, foreign hand tab bhi tha. Fark ye hai that at that time only Mr. Sibal and Chidambaram and few would say this. That the government would say this. Today you will have news platforms saying this. This entire nonsensicalization of rhetoric is not limited to politicians working for very base selfish ends. It has infected newsrooms and news platforms. News laundry, when we started, was Sabki Dhulai. And I remember our favorite punching boy at that time used to be Sanjay Jha, because he used to land up every night on some panel and get hammered by the anchor, and we used to make fun of him. That time, no one had any problem. We are doing the same thing today. Sanjay Jha has been replaced by Sambit Patra. But all these platforms, all these broadcasters, all these large organizations, and I have two cases from two very different kind of ideological cases on news laundry, by the way. One is the Sakal Times, which is owned by the Pawar family. One is by Times Now, which is an extension of the most hateful, bigoted stuff that the BJP fringe wants to kind of put out there. And these are politically, both are different. But the fact is, legacy media is so compromised, is so weak, and it is uska ढांचा इतना ढह गया है that anyone who says you guys are a joke to news and journalism, they want to shut them down by filing such cases. But we will be happy to fight. We said we'll see you in court, and we are seeing them in court.
Absolutely. Now, to add to what Abhinandan said, I remember then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh actually dissing the Kudankulam nuclear protest, saying that it's funded by people from America, NGOs from America doing it. So I would say the Congress has started most of these problems. They are the ones who attributed anti-national and international motives to people. But the BJP has taken it to a different level where they've convinced even the normal citizen in this country that this is anti-national. But I want to ask a citizen, including people who have followed my work, for example, for many years, why did you not call me anti-national in 2009 or 10? But why do you think I am so now? So perspectives have changed because the rhetoric is so strong now, and people are not able to differentiate this rhetoric from reality.
Danya, there's this weird video doing rounds. Have you seen it? There's a guy who's saying DG Pub is formed to fund some protest and all that. I don't know. I didn't quite get what he said actually. Does DG Pub take money from any other country or any other source or any other donors? Do we have donors, Danya? Let me ask the chairperson first.
Yeah. So this particular video which you're talking about, first, It's laughable. I am actually feeling bad for the country because there are millions of people watching this and so many of them are believing it. I am really feeling sad for their intellect simply because the idea of DigiPub started in 2016. 2018 onwards, we have been planning the foundation and we have all mail traits, everything to prove this, but we don't have to prove to this guy, right? But the point is that he makes absolutely no sense. And the other thing, for anyone asking, does DigiPub have a lot of money? No, we don't have. When we just formed the organization, the foundation, when we do have funding, it will be from our members who will pay the membership fee like any other foundation will ask their members to. We have not approached anyone for any sort of grant, nor has anyone approached us for any grant. So I hope the conversation around money and DigiPub ends with this.
Abhinandan, if I am not wrong, we don't even have a bank account till date, right?
No, that's my fault because the CA that was handling this, he got COVID, and because the documents need to be signed and all the members and the board are in different cities, it's taking a while for all the documentation to go around. So even the bank account is informed. But the point is that Sujit, there's during the whole insanity of the coverage of Sushant Singh's demise when he died. There was this one YouTube channel that was claiming that tomorrow, and he apparently some lawyer, I will show how Salman Khan is involved, and then so and so is involved, and then he'd say he was in such and such city.
No, Shah Rukh Khan watched the murder.
Yeah, so and that also video got lots of hundreds and thousands of views. So, and honestly, I'm used to this. I've had these, Op India type, the Pachada sites do these kind of things, and lots, they have this one dude who does these video rants and makes any claims. But the point is, why this video is seriously problematic, because BJP leaders shared it, and we've done a story on that. Correct. The point is, there will always be such lunatics online, and he's not the first and won't be the last. But when political leaders who are supposed to have some responsibilities are sharing this, that's a problem.
When he's asking that we be hanged not once but twice in the video.
And this is being shared by people who consider themselves, political leaders, or they have been given responsible roles. So such loons will exist. But do such loons get the endorsement of people who are in positions of authority or responsibility? And that is the biggest problem with this new phenomena of it getting such kind of an endorsement. And when it comes to, the kind of thing he was saying that that such and such thing happened at 4:45, at 4:78 or whatever, 4:55, this plea went up to subscribe or to get funds. News Laundry puts out about 10 Twitter posts a day for this part of the world, and then 5 at night for that part of the world to subscribe, because we don't take ads. Every portal on Twitter puts out their subscription appeals 10 to 15 times a day, and within 2 hours. So no matter what happens, within 2 hours, this way or that way, there will be a subscription appeal having gone, no matter what event. And you have to be a complete moron to believe that kind of stuff, narrative that he was claiming. But clearly there are enough morons out there who will say, हाँ boss, इसमें तो कुछ है. What can you do?
We get raided, we get surveyed, we get ED on our doorsteps, we get trolls. The point is, how fair is that, isn't it? I mean, how fair is this? Danya, how does it affect your personal life? How does all of this trolls and, that person himself, he had named you specifically, and of course, Abhinandan personally. How does this affect your life, Danya? I'll start with you and then go to Abhinandan.
To be very truthful, this particular episode, I think, affected me for around 2 to 3 hours, because my mentions on Twitter were going crazy. But actually, I was starting to feel a little bad about it when family members and friends started calling, either saying, be careful, or someone is asking me, what is happening? What is this video? But seriously, I don't think trolling and abuses affect me anymore. In the sense that I understand how that ecosystem works. There's basically WhatsApp groups where they put those tweets and say, let's all now go troll this person. So someone sitting in some Bihar or Uttar Pradesh or even Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, who's never heard my name in their entire life will just be abusing me that whole day because that is their job for the day. So that is not a problem for me. And as far as the journalism that we do is concerned, that is not going to be impacted at all by what happens, what the government says, or what political parties say, or what trolls say, because our journalism is not based on what these people say, right? It cannot be it cannot be a slave to people's opinion online.
Abhinandan, when you get all these trolls, when so many people are against you, does that demotivate you? Does that?
He is a troll himself.
I can't that I'm a troll myself. No,
162 crores, of course, yes.
It has absolutely no impact on me. I'll be honest. I really
No,
don't
but
give.
it does sometimes have an impact. Like, for example, the time after the video came, so many death threats. Like, there was this guy who wrote in Malayalam that he wants to slit my throat. So many death threats came after that. So that does put me off thinking, and this Malayalam death threat came from a guy who is not even having an anonymous account. He has a proper account with his name and photograph and everything. And there were so many death threats like that and abusive words, which just it does rattle me a bit when I think that why do human beings do such things? Like, go to a random person's account who you do not know anything about and then abuse them, give them life threats. So that does make me a bit concerned.
Tell me both
But
of you.
Sujit, I will add this. Well, there's a lot of abusive stuff and threats, and people like Dhanya receive a lot more than I do. To be honest, I've received physical harm threats maybe a few times. I don't really go through my mentions that regularly, so maybe there are which miss me. But I will say on social media there is a lot of support too, which often we should not overlook in the clutter of all the hate. There are some fantastic supportive people out there, and I seek those out. When they say that we've subscribed to News Laundry, we pay to keep news free, I make it a point to retweet that. So, just try to amplify the positivity, because there is a lot of hate, and at least so far, it hasn't led to any real life harm. And I'm not saying it can't. There are many cases where it has led to real life harm. So I'm not saying that one should, not be careful about it or aware of it. One should. But so far for me, touch wood, it has just remained, cowardly fools taking out their bhadas online. That's what it's going to be.
Abhinandan, this question is to you. My second last question. Abhinandan, is this going to grow? This trolling, this raids, this, we should mention about the NewsClick raid that is happening, and I think it is still happening as we speak. It is still not over. Is this going to grow, or do you see a light end of the tunnel?
Sujit, I believe anyone who gets into the news space does see light at the end of the tunnel. Because if you're not an optimist, you wouldn't be in this space. Because one does believe one can make a difference. One can make, governance more transparent. One can make governance more accountable. And that is the reason most of us, at least us in DigiPub, have got into news. I mean, I can't say the same about broadcast. But I don't want to do crystal gazing whether it will grow or not. But if I were to make an educated guess, having been in the news space since 95 and now we're in 2021, that's, 26 years, it has gotten worse and it has gotten better. We have got more loud and aggressive, and yet the attacks have also become louder and more aggressive. So the battle has continuously grown.
It's grown.
And
correct.
I don't expect that battle to become less right now. What I do hope is that those who are truly interested in news and to hold the values of freedom of speech, the fourth pillar of democracy, reportage and fact, keep it relevant, will dig their heels in no matter what the assault.
Dhanya, what do you think?
Well, I think the same. See, this kind of targeting or targeted hatred and rhetoric, that's not going to stop. It's not going to decrease. In fact, as 2024 approaches, I think this is only going to increase. I don't know how many of the portals which are there in DigiPub will even be there till 2024. Because like I said, most of them are small businesses run by journalists. Many of them may cease to exist in a year or two. We hope not, but that is the likely scenario. So this kind of hatred and targeting is definitely going to increase, but all of us expect it. The only problem is when any of this threat becomes real. Like, we are in a group where one of the senior journalists said that her number has been shared and she's getting a lot of threat calls. So things do become concerning when this kind of targeted abuse becomes real, and you never know when it will. Look at what happened to Gauri Lankesh. So it's not like we can take things too lightly either.
Abhinandan, before we go, one question I need to ask you. Abhinandan, what if you meet Arnab Goswami in a party, what are you going to go out and tell him? Well, I say he just comes in front of you. What will be your reaction? What will you tell him?
It has happened to me.
Acha? And what did you tell him? So then we'll start with Danya. Good.
I mean, I didn't know what to say. I met him at a coffee shop
Acha.
in the airport.
So you said nothing?
No, we sat and we spoke to each other, and we're like, yes.
My God.
Very polite conversations.
Abhinandan?
I don't know what I'd say to him today, Sujit. To be honest, I did bump into him in Khan Market of all places a few years ago. Madhu and I were there having coffee. We were discussing something, and he was sitting at the other table. And Madhu said, "Let's assault him like his cameras assault people." So I picked up my phone. Madhu went up to him. "Arnab, tell us, what are you doing in Khan Market? What are you doing?" And I rolled, and for that my audio wasn't working only. But then we carried that video on News Laundry.
But it's there in News Laundry?
So, this was a few years ago. So that video is on News Laundry. But I mean, I really don't know, because he's become very quiet these days. I mean, but there are others. I mean, honestly, if I met them, because at that time I thought it was all a joke, but now it's gone so far. I will do my best to publicly shame them. I have no doubt.
Chairperson, the last question to you. How does one join DigiPub? How does one become, how does an independent media and an independent journalist join DigiPub?
So anyone who has a digital only presence or writes for digital media, which is a journalist and even an organization, there is a form on our website. You can fill the form. You need someone from the DigiPub Foundation to propose you and second you. So you have to make sure that you know at least 2 people, and then you reach out to them. Then there will be a board meeting where we will clear these applications. That's about it.
That's as simple as that. Thank you.
It's on digipubindia.in, so people can go check it out and see.
We will put that scroller down. We'll put the scroller down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Danya. Thank you so much for joining me. Abhinandan, thank you so much. It was indeed a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujit.
Bye.
Bye.